The story starts from an island where a reporter named Samuel was taking pictures. All the people Samuel was taking pictures of were sleeping. I don't know what happened on this island 3 days ago that everyone was sleeping and not waking up. Some slept in the swimming pool, some in the bus, some in the hotel, and some in the church. There was no change in all of them. The only difference was that if that person was brought to his place while sleeping, his blood pressure would suddenly increase. That's why he was left where he was. Researchers and doctors all come to this island and check everyone. No one knows about their disease. What happened on this island? But the surprising thing was that those who had come to this island from outside, it had no effect on them. That's why everyone had set up their camp and started living on this island, so that they could find out the reason behind it. Also, no reporter was allowed to come here. But reporter Samuel, whom we saw at the beginning of the story, came here quietly and was taking pictures of the bus where everyone was sleeping very peaceful. He sees a woman holding a goldfish in her hand in the bus, which was moving. That's why Samuel takes her with him so that he can talk to the fish and she doesn't feel lonely. Birds and animals had nothing to do on this island. Now, after taking pictures, Samuel goes to a house where a girl was sleeping on the bed, whose name was Stella. Samuel first looks at her very closely and then leaves from there and went to sleep in the other room. While he was watching, 2 researchers were standing outside Stella's house. Samuel was watching them secretly. Actually, as we know, no reporter was allowed to come here. If he had found out about Samuel, he could have been punished. Now, after he leaves, Samuel quietly goes to sleep in the other room. While sleeping, he sees a dream. He sees the same girl Stella in his dream, in whose house he was sleeping. Stella was buying some things in a mall. When he calls her by her name, Stella looks at him in amazement and asks, "How do you know my name?" Then he wakes up. He sees that it was morning. He listens to the radio and was talking to Stella while sleeping. Now Samuel goes to take pictures again. He goes to a church where many people were present. He takes pictures of them and then sits in the middle of them for a while. Now, where he had lost his sight, he sees Stella again in his dream. This time they were sitting face to face. Stella asks Samuel, "Have you come here to earn money?" Samuel says, "No, I just want to gain some experience here, after which I can get fame in the future." Then again his eyes open and he quietly returns to Stella's house, where he starts looking at Stella's thing. Then he gets a diary, which Stella used to write every day. And Samuel starts reading her diary. Now, as he was reading the diary, feels that he has known Stella for a long time. Now, every day Stella would come and talk to Samuel. Samuel asks her, "What are you feeling in a long sleep?" She says, "Sometimes I get a lot of peace, but sometimes it feels like I'm falling very deep." She says that I slept at the end when I came home at night. First of all, he saw his piano teacher sleeping, who suddenly fell asleep in front of the whole class. And after that, this disease took over every person here. Now again, he goes out the next day. He sees the car standing at a place in which there were a lot of balloons. When he was taking pictures there, he sees 2 researchers standing in the building opposite. Before that, he sees Samuel. He hides and returns home. He realized that if he stayed here, he could get into a big trouble. So now he packs his things and starts going from here. Now when he reaches the shore to go back, he stands there for a long time and thinks whether he should go or not. Actually, his heart was not leaving Stella. He had started liking Stella somewhat. That's why he decides to go back. Now whenever he slept, Stella used to come in his dreams to talk to him. One day Stella asks him in a dream that you tell me the real reason. What are you doing here? Samuel says that a year ago I had come to spend my holidays on this island. I saw you at a grocery store, then you went to a hotel. I followed you, but I did not have the courage to say anything to you. I liked you at first sight, after which we did not meet. That's why I came back to you, so that I can know you well." Saying this, Samuel wakes up again in the real world and goes to the market to buy some things for use, where two researchers had also come, one of which sees Samuel. That's why Samuel pretends to sleep there, like everyone was sleeping on this island. That researcher doctor first checks him, and then from there, she takes away the things she had found. As soon as he leaves, Samuel has a lot of fun at that. And then he goes to the cashier with the money, came back to Stella's house. This time he gets some more stuff from Stella's house, in which there was a tape recorder. In that, Stella had told about all her favorite and disliked things. Now Samuel puts on that cassette and listens to the tape. He finds out that Stella likes very strange things. She likes the sound of a Barbie doll, a boat, and a typewriter running in the water. That's why he brings all these things and keeps them, so that whenever Stella wakes up and sees all these things, she is very happy. In the meantime, Stella also told that she is very fond of going for a long drive by the sea. After hearing this, Samuel goes back to his dream world, where he sees that Stella is ready to go for a drive with him. Stella tells him to take a sleeping man's car, on which Samuel says, "Look, we can't steal." She says, "We are not stealing. In fact, we are just asking for a car loan for a while." Now Stella goes to that man's house and brings the car key. They both went on a long journey. After a while, he comes out of his dream, where he sees that some doctors have come to Stella's house to see her. In fact, these doctors used to check everyone like this every week. Seeing them, Samuel hides in the closet. The doctor also left from here after checking Stella. Now after the doctors leave, he comes out of the closet, and he holds Stella's hand and lies down on the floor. Then the next day, Samuel starts listening to the tape recording again. Now he knows about Stella's dislikes. In this, Stella had talked about her loneliness. She said, "Although I live alone, but I don't like this loneliness at all." After which Samuel slept again. Now again he talks to Stella in his dream. Tells her, "I know you don't like to be alone at all. Everyone has a partner in life. Who knows, in the coming life we can live together." On this, Stella says, "I don't think so." After hearing all this, Samuel realized that he was probably wasting his time in vain, and has stopped here. He decides to go from here again. But this time too he couldn't go, and came back home and started eating Stella's favorite things. Once again, he has his dream. In the dream, Stella tells him to go from here. Stella, you know, because of books and diaries, is very different in real life. Samuel also started thinking now, maybe Stella is telling the truth. The girl I have never spoken to, how can she love me? But only Stella had told him in her dream. Even he himself didn't know what was in Stella's heart. Now, when Samuel starts going from here for the third time, so I don't know what happened to him. On the same way, he feels very thirsty. His thirst was not stopping. The more water he drank, his thirst increased, and along with this, he was also getting a lot of sleep. He finds out that even on him, the water of the island had started affecting him. Now he somehow reaches Stella's house while falling, and he had put his hand on Stella's hand and slept. But the next morning he wakes up. But Samuel had understood this. He is also going to sleep early like the people here. That's why he types and writes a lot of notes, and goes to sleep like the rest. A few days later, we see that Stella's body was also starting to move. She was awake from sleep, but now there was no power in her body, because she woke up after 3 weeks of sleep. She gets up bravely and somehow reaches the tap and goes to drink water. Then her eyes fall on another toothbrush. She feels that maybe someone else is also living in her house. She was very angry about this, because she had found out. Samuel read her diary and also heard her recorded talk. She now tries to wake him up, but there was no use. Samuel had gone to sleep for a long time like her. Now in the meantime, he gets notes written by Samuel, in which he had written a story, so that when Stella reads all this, she forgives him. that he heard her diary and recorded talks. He also wrote that Stella can only get rid of your loneliness when you let people reach you. After reading all this, Stella understood that despite being a stranger, Samuel understood her so well. Now she takes care of him exactly the way Samuel took care of him. Now, as Samuel used to come in Stella's dreams and talk to her. Similarly, now Stella also talks to Samuel. She knows about his likes and dislikes. A few days passed like this. One day when Stella wakes up in the morning, then Samuel was not there, where he was sleeping. Stella looks for him all over the house. That's when she sees him standing in the kitchen, and he goes to her. Stella was realizing this, that she does not know Samuel for the first time. In fact, I do not know since when she knows him. In fact, now they were talking to each other very well. It seemed that they know a lot about each other. We see the same woman, whom Samuel had taken the fish. Now that woman was also awake from sleep. She did not have one but 2 fish, which was obviously Samuel's work. She had 2 fish in her hand. It is said that if a person wants something with all his heart, then he will definitely get it, like Samuel had anything on Stella and that island. For both of them, this was a beautiful incident. And with this, the story of this film also ends here.